The golden retriever had a problem. Every time he got an apple, he ate it, instantly. Sometimes before, it even hit the bowl. He wasn't broke, he was just fast. Why bury food, he thought, when I can chew now? Meanwhile, the squirrel next door kept disappearing into the ground with nuts. Weird flex. Dog didn't get it until winter came. Squirrel had snacks. Dog had regrets. Snow everywhere. No apples. Just cold. Apples, in case you're new here, are money. Leaves are the currency dogs use to trade for apples. Buried apples. That's investing. Dog had been living leaf to mouth his whole life, chewing every apple like it was the last one on earth. Meanwhile, Squirrel had been building an underground orchard like a tiny rodent Warren Buffett. Dog watched his empty bowl and thought, maybe chew later is better than chew now. Dog isn't alone. There's a whole generation of young humans just like him. They try to start investing. They open the apps, and suddenly it's a blizzard of words. ETF? Roth? IRA? Dogecoin? SPAC? Is that a stock or a disease? Investing starts to feel like a secret club run by people with 5 monitors, fancy water bottles, and no souls. So Dog goes back to chewing his apple. At least that makes sense. But one day something clicked. It wasn't a finance book. It was a squirrel. Dog saw her bury a nut. Calm. Focused. No drama. Dog tried to copy her. Dug a hole. Buried one apple. Felt powerful. Then panicked. Dug it up 10 minutes later. Still an apple. Weird, he thought. No interest yet. Buried it again. This time, waited a full day. Dug it up. Still no orchard. Investing broken? Dog confused. Again. Suddenly, Dog imagined life like a video game. Investing was not one big level. It had stages. Level 1. Panic buy crypto because a fox on TikTok screamed to the moon. Level 2. Open investment app. 14 times a day. Stress sweat. Level 5. Calmly sip oat milk while discussing market sentiment. Like it's a scent. Dog was still on tutorial mode, but he wasn't alone. And that mattered. Here's the truth. Dog finally sniffed out. Investing isn't only for the rich, the spreadsheet wizards, or that one weird guy in class who built a dividend tracker in Excel and wears loafers with no socks. Investing is for anyone with one apple and the ability to not eat it. Even a retriever with attention span issues and a habit of chasing squirrels mid-sentence. Because the real power, it's not in the amount, it's in the burying and the waiting, even if the ground smells weird. Level 0. The impulse licker. Dog sees banana chart go up. Dog hears fox on TikTok scream, "Buy now!" Dog smashes the buy button with his paw. Feels smart. 20 minutes later, chart go down. Dog confused. Dog sells. Dog cries. This is level 0, pure chaos. No logic, only vibes. Dog treats investing like a fetch game. Fast, noisy, thrilling, and ends with him drooling on something worthless. Once, he bought an NFT shaped like a bone. It cost 400 leaves. Now it's just a screenshot. Dog learned the hard way. If everyone's barking about it, it's probably too late. Level 1. The fruit saver. Dog decides to change. He starts putting apples aside. Not investing, just saving. Bowl labeled, future snacks. Feels responsible. Watches the apples every day like a security guard. But 1 week later, apples look smaller. Some bruised. One shriveled. Dog shocked. Inflation, the invisible apple eater, has struck again. Dog didn't know leaves lose power. One apple that cost 5 leaves last month. Now it's 7. Saving feels safe, but Dog starts to realize just hoarding fruit doesn't stop it from rotting. Level 2. The treat tracker. Dog finally invests. Opens robo-advisor account. Picks moderate risk because aggressive sounded like biting. Puts in 10 leaves. Then checks the app. Nothing. Checks again. Still nothing. Refreshes 12 times before lunch. Sees graph go down. Whines. Sees graph go up. Tail wags. Dog has entered the over-monitoring phase. Psychology calls it recency bias. Dog calls it emotional damage. Every dip feels like failure. Every green spike feels like hope. But investing isn't popcorn. It's not fast. It's a seed. You water it. You wait. You don't dig it up every time it rains. Level 3. The diversified dog. Dog watches a video about index funds. Mind blown. SP 500? ETF? It's like one big apple basket holding lots of mini apples. Dog starts spreading out investments. Some apples here, some bananas there, a few bones, just in case. Even tosses a nut to crypto, for fun. Dog juggling assets labeled savings, stocks, pizza budget, squirrel hedge fund. Finally, understands, if one thing fails, others survive. No more all in on trendy treats. Diversification is dog's new trick. Not flashy, but smart. Squirrel nods in approval. Level 4. The behavioral boss. Final form. Dog stops chasing charts. Stops biting trends. Starts sleeping through market crashes. Leaves investment on autopilot. Doesn't brag. Doesn't panic. Just lets things grow. One friend laughs at dog's 20-month plan. Years later, that same friend rents an apartment owned by dog. Behavior beats brilliance. Even small, consistent burying wins over loud, chaotic fetch. Dog isn't trying to beat the market. Dog is trying to not sabotage himself. That's the game. That's the cheat code. Dog doesn't have a degree, just patience. And a shovel. 5 years later, Dog returns to the spot where he buried his first apple. He doesn't expect much. Maybe a rotten core. Maybe another failed snack. But instead, there's a tree. A real tree. Small, scrappy, kinda weird looking. But it's got apples. Not many, but enough. A bird lives in it. A squirrel teaches yoga under it. Dog just stares. Doesn't even drool. For the first time, he understands something deep. The apple wasn't the goal. The tree was. Investing, Dog realizes, isn't magic. It's not luck. It's not about biting the right stock at the perfect second and yelling, "I'm a genius," on Twitter. It's about boring things, waiting, ignoring, letting things get weird underground. Most of the time, Dog didn't know what he was doing, but he kept burying apples, one by one, month after month, even when it felt pointless. Even when his neighbor bought a shiny NFT yacht. Now that yacht is worth zero. Dog has apples. Still weird, but edible. Here's the final twist. Dog never became rich. Not on paper. Not in fancy dog terms. But he doesn't panic anymore when apple prices go up. He doesn't sprint after every financial trend like a confused puppy. He just watches his tree, feeds it sometimes, sleeps in the shade. It's not flashy, but it's enough. And for once, that's kind of beautiful. Investing isn't about timing the fetch. It's about staying in the park long enough for apples to fall. That's the whole game. And now Dog knows how to play it. Slowly, clumsily, with dirt on his nose. But he plays. Because the only thing better than eating one apple now is having enough apples to share later. Economists call it capital appreciation. Dogs call it the magic of buried snacks. Either way, it works. Eventually.